Okay, welcome back in. We are now going to be reviewing Saturday's action from the NHL. There were a total of how many games?
13.
13 games. Very busy Saturday, and this was the last regular season games for Saturday of the NHL. Very, very sad. Alrighty, game that we're going to first take a look at happened between two teams from the Metropolitan Division as the Philadelphia Flyers took on the New Jersey Devils.
So there's no scoring in the first. So we have top head to second. Travis
Konechny
will get his 33rd goal from left tongue and Sully. Just
with 9 minutes and 10 seconds to go on the clock.
shorthanded goal. And then the final will be 1-0.
So just the one goal to report. So you have to go back to the standings, and we'll take a look and see where both of these teams are sitting at after this matchup. So with the victory, the Flyers are 38, 32, and 11. They have 87 points on the season with just one game remaining. They're still fighting for their playoff lives. After the loss, the New Jersey Devils are 38, 38, and 5. They have 81 points on the season. What's next?
Montreal and Ottawa.
Montreal and Ottawa. Alrighty. Easy changeover.
Mike Matheson will get. Let's do it for you.
Okay. Sounds good. So Mike Matheson would open up the scoring in the first period, getting his 11th goal of the year, a shorthanded marker, 9 minutes, 11 seconds of the first. Brady Tkachuk would tie the game up with a power play goal of his own, getting his 36th of the season from Sanderson and Giroux, with 6 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the period. So after 20 minutes of play, we were all tied up at 1. In the second period, Cole Caulfield would strike, getting his 26th of the year from Struble and Savard, a minute and 37 seconds into that second period. Shane Pinto would tie the game up with a power play goal, getting his 9th of the year from Giroux and Tkachuk, 8 minutes and 36 seconds of that second period, a power play goal as well. Speaking of power play goals, Cole Caulfield will get his second goal of the game, his 27th of the year from Matheson and Newhook, a power play goal for himself, with 6 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the period. So after 40 minutes of play, the Montreal Canadiens had a 3-2 lead. In the third period, Brady Tkachuk would get his second goal of the game, a power play goal for himself, his 37th of the year from Batherson and Sanderson. Alex Newhook would then strike, giving the Habs a 4-3 lead with 4 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the frame. For Newhook, that would be his 14th goal of the year from Gallagher and Savard. Thomas Chabot would score with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go in the period, tying it up at 4, his 9th of the year from Batherson and Sanderson. This game would need extra time. Unfortunately, nothing would be settled in overtime. We'd have to go to a shootout where Batherson would strike and get the game-winning goal for the Ottawa Senators. So with the victory, Ottawa is now sitting at 36, 40, and 4. They have 76 points on the season with 2 games remaining. After the overtime loss, Montreal is 30, 36, and 14. They have 74 points as we speak. What's next?
Vancouver and Edmonton.
All right.
Well, hey, two of my two favorite teams.
Two of your favorite teams duking it out. So therefore, either way, you'd be happy with the result.
I was happy. In the first period, Sam Laverty would get 13th goals from Zadorov and JT Miller. Time.
1 second. Time to fix the window. That goal happened with just 16 seconds to go in the period.
In the second period, Sadler would get his 14th goal for Myers.
And that goal happened with exactly 9 minutes remaining on the clock.
Evander Kane would get his 24th goal from Brown and Nurse.
And that goal happened with 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining on the clock.
In the third period, Dakota Joshua would get his 17th goal from Lindholm and Gerland.
And that goal happened with 1 minute and 47 seconds remaining in the period.
So basically the final score would be 3-1 in favor of the Vancouver Canucks.
So with the win, the Canucks are sitting at 49, 22, and 9. They have 107 points on the season with 2 games remaining on the schedule. After the loss, the Oilers are 48, 25, and 6. They have 102 points remaining with 3 games remaining. So if the Oilers wanted to catch first place, last night would have been the time to do it. They would need to win out their last 3 games and hope that Vancouver would lose the remaining games on their schedule. Either way, this should be a first and second team respectively in the Pacific Division once the playoffs kick off. Alrighty, what's next?
Next one is the Battle of New York. It's between the Islanders and the Rangers.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna make it brighter so you can
Thank you.
see.
Thank you. So in the first, Braden Schneider would get a shorthanded goal, open up the scoring in the second period, his fifth of the year from Zibanejad and Kreider, 4 minutes and 33 seconds of that second frame. Brock Nelson would tie the game up with 8 minutes and 18 seconds to go. For Nelson, that'd be his 31st goal of the year from Palmieri and Fasching. Nelson then strike again late in that second period, getting his 32nd of the year, a second and goal of the night from Fasching and Palmieri. So all those guys had 2 points apiece heading into the third period. Arturi Panarin would strike in the third with 4 minutes and 17 seconds to go. For Panarin, he'd get his 48th of the year from Trocheck, tying the game up at 2. This game would need to be settled in a shootout, and who would have guessed that the Breadman himself would get the game-winning goal, and the Rangers would escape with a 3-2 victory. So with that, they are still sitting first in the Metropolitan Division with a record of 54, 23, and 4. They have 112 points on the season with 1 game remaining. And the New York Islanders are sitting third in the Metropolitan Division with a record of 37, 27, and 16. They have 90 points on the season with 2 games remaining. They have still yet to clinch a playoff spot, but I have a funny feeling if they win at least one of their final 2 games, they should have an X beside their name and see some postseason action for this second year in a row. What's next?
Next one's between the Seattle Kraken and Dallas Stars.
Okay.
In the first period, Craig Smith would get his 11th goal from Robinson and Heiskanen.
And that goal happened with, where are we at here? Just 3 seconds to go on the clock. Wow.
In the second period, Jason Robertson would get his 29th goal from Ben and Heiskanen.
And that goal happened with 37 seconds to go on the clock, so 2 very late goals by the Stars.
There's no scoring in the second, so we had to hop ahead to the third. Miro Heiskanen would get his 9th goal from Pavelski and Hurley.
And that goal happened with 7 minutes and 37 seconds to go on the clock.
Taylor Yamamoto would get his 88th goal from Tatar.
And when he scored, there was 5 minutes and 49 seconds to go on the clock, so the Stars would prevail 3-1. So after the victory, the Stars are sitting 51-21 and 9. They have 111 points on the season with 1 game remaining. They have clinched the Central Division for the first time since 2016. And after the loss, the Seattle Kraken are 33, 34, and 13. They have 79 points on the season with 2 games remaining. Alrighty, what's next?
The Jets and Avalanche.
So 2 teams that could possibly meet up in the first round of the playoffs. In the first period, Sean Monahan would kick things off, getting his 25th goal of the season from Ehlers and Pionk, with 6 minutes in the period. Velarde would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 21st of the season from Connor and Morrissey with a power play goal, 8 minutes and 2 seconds in the first. Josh Morrissey would strike, getting his 10th goal of the season from Sean Monahan, a power play goal with 4 minutes and 53 seconds to go on the clock. And then Adam Lowry would score just 10 seconds after that, getting his 11th goal of the season from Gustafsson and DeMello, increasing the lead to 4-0 in favor of the Jets. In the second period, Tyler Toffoli would strike, getting his 32nd goal of the year from Kyle Connor with 9 minutes and 41 seconds to go. Sean Monahan would get his 2nd goal of the game, getting his 26th of the season from Morrissey and Ehlers with 4 minutes and 49 seconds to go. Adam Lowry would get his 2nd goal of the game, getting his 12th of the season, assisted by Gustafsson, and that goal happened with 3 minutes and 27 seconds to go in the period. So the Jets would win by a touchdown in this game. 7-0 would be the final score. So with the victory, the Jets are sitting at 50, 24, and 6. They have 106 points on the season with 2 games remaining. As for the Avalanche, they've now dropped to 3rd place in the division with a record of 49, 25, and 7. They have 105 points on the season with 1 game remaining. Alrighty, what's next?
Sabres and Panthers.
All right.
In the first period, Tyson Josh would get his 3rd goal from Dallin and Joe Carrigu, just 2 minutes and 59 seconds on the clock. Anton Lundell will get his 13th goal from Kachuk and Cousins, just 5 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock. Kevin Stenwell will get his 11th goal from Along. just 8 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock. Jack Quinn would get his 9th goal from Byram and Owen Power. Just 9 minutes and 48 seconds on the clock. This game would need overtime, and the person that would do it would be Sam Reinhart, getting his 55th goal from Barkov. Just 3 minutes and 58 seconds on the clock. So Florida Panthers would win it just 3-2.
So with the victory, Panthers are sitting at 51, 24, and 6. They have 108 points on the season, with 1 game remaining. And as for the Sabres, they are 38, 37, and 6. They have 82 points on the season. They also have 1 game remaining. So the Panthers are still fighting for the number 1 spot in the Atlantic Division, but at least with this victory, they have secured home ice advantage in the first round. At worst case scenario, they will finish second in the division. What's next?
Lightning and Capitals.
Okay. So in the first period, Sonny Milano would get his 14th goal of the season from Pacioretty and Lapierre, with roughly 10 minutes into the period. Anthony Duclair would tie the game up, getting his 23rd of the season from Braden Point and Radish, with 6 minutes and 54 seconds to go in the period. Sonny Milano would strike yet again, getting his 15th of the season with 6 minutes remaining on the clock, giving the Capitals a 2-1 lead. Brandon Hagel would tie the game up with 3 minutes and 36 seconds to go. Hagel, that would be his 25th goal of the year from Stamkos and Cirelli. There's no scoring in the second, but to jump ahead to the third period, where John Carlson would break the tie, getting his 9th goal of the season from Strome and Tom Wilson, a power play goal with 8.5 minutes to go. And with that score, John Carlson is now the highest scoring defenseman in Capitals history.
Power play goal?
Power play goal.
Oh.
Nick Dowd would increase the lead to 4-2, getting his 11th goal of the season from Malliston and Trevor Van Riemsdyk. So the Capitals would prevail in this matchup 4-2. They are still fighting for their playoff lives. After the win, they are now in the second wildcard spot with a record of 38, 31, and 11. They have 87 points on the season with 2 games remaining. As for the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're in the number 1 wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference with a record of 44, 28, and 8. They have 96 points on the season with how many games? Tampa Bay, 2 games remaining. Alrighty, what's next?
Red Wings and Maple Leafs.
Ooh, an original 6 matchup. Very intriguing. So you had one team they're also fighting for their playoff lives, and another team who's already made the playoffs and pretty much secured their spot as we speak.
In the first period, Mitch Marner would get his 26th goal from Nylander and Riley. Just 8 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock. Alex Demercat would get his 25th goal from Raymond and Larkin.
And that goal happened with 9 minutes and 58 seconds to go on the clock.
Simon Edvinson would get his first goal for the Detroit Red Wings from Perrin and Petrie.
And that goal happened with 6 minutes and 21 seconds to go.
Alex Demercat would get his 26th goal from Comper and Fabry.
And that goal happened with 2 minutes and 23 seconds to go.
David Perrin would get his 16th goal from Kane and Comper.
And that happened with 19 seconds to go in the period. So after 20 minutes of play, I should say, the Red Wings had a 4-1 lead.
In the second period, Nicholas Robertson would get his 14th goal alone. Just 9 minutes and 4 seconds on the clock. Austin Matthews would get his 69th goal from Marner and Riley.
And that goal happened with 9 minutes and 47 seconds to go on the clock.
John Tavares would tie the game up with 4, just getting his 27th goal from Marner.
And that goal happened with 2 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the period.
This game would need overtime, and Dylan Morgan would get his 33rd goal from Kane and Gostisbehere. Just 41 seconds on the clock.
So the Red Wings would win 5-4 after blowing a 4-1 lead. So with the victory, they are 39, 32, and 9. They have 87 points on the season. They are currently sitting on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoffs, with 2 games remaining. And after the overtime loss, I should say, the Leafs are 46, 24, and 10. They have 102 points on the season. And as I said, they have for sure locked in the number 3 spot in the Atlantic Division. Alrighty, what's next?
Blue Jackets and Predators.
All right. So, screen
Stop shutting my phone off.
Oh, I didn't mean to. Okay. So in the first period, James Malatisa, if I pronounced that name correctly, would get his first goal of the season for the Columbus Blue Jackets, assist by Danforth, 2 minutes and 4 seconds in the first period. Tommy Novak would tie the game up just 45 seconds after that. Novak would get his 17th of the season from Evangelista and Ryan Yossi. Speaking of Yossi, he'd get on the goal score himself, getting a power play goal. Yossi, that would be his 22nd goal of the season, assisted by Nyquist and Ryan O'Reilly, 4 minutes and 19 seconds of the first period. Tommy Novak would increase lead to 3-1, getting his second goal of the game, his 18th of the season, assisted by Bavillier and Ryan McDonough. So after 20 minutes of play, we had 4 goals. 3-1 was the score in favor of the Nashville Predators. Cody Glass would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his 6th of the season from Carrier and Jankowski. That goal happened 4 minutes and 52 seconds of the second period, assisted by Carrier and Jankowski. Alexander Texier would cut the deficit to 4-2. For Texier, that would be his 19th goal of the season from Severson. And that goal happened with 9 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the period. Philip Forsberg would strike, getting his 47th goal of the season from Yossi and Nyquist, a power play goal with 6 minutes and 48 seconds to go, increasingly to 5-2. Yossi would get his second goal of the game, increasingly to 6-2. That for Yossi, that would be his 23rd goal of the season from Evangelista and Novak, and that goal happened with 4 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the frame. Try saying this guy's name for the third period.
Trey Wolanski will get his first goal from Danforth and Gabranson. Just 6 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock. Trey Wolanski will get his second goal from Danforth and Molesta.
That goal happened with just 30 seconds to go on the clock, making it 6-4 in favor of the Predators, but that's as close as Columbus would get to tying the game. So with the victory, Nashville is sitting at 47-29-5. They have 99 points on the season with 1 game remaining. They are sitting in the number 1 wildcard spot as we speak. As for the Blue Jackets, they are sitting at 26-43-12. They have 64 points on the season with just 1 game remaining. Alrighty. What's next?
Bruins and Penguins.
All right.
So there's no scoring in the first.
In the second period, Jake DeBrusk would kick things off for the Bruins, getting his 19th goal of the season from Peak and Coyle. That goal happened with 8 minutes and 8 seconds in the period. Pavel Zacha would increase the lead to 2-0 just 14 seconds after that, getting his 20th goal of the season from Grzelcyk and Charlie McAvoy. Brian Rust would finally get the Penguins on the board with 9 minutes and 33 seconds to go on the clock. For Rust, that would be his 28th goal of the season from O'Connor and Crosby. Kevin Shattenkirk would increase the lead to 3-1 for the Boston Bruins, getting his 6th of the season from Pasternak and Zacha with 8 minutes and 25 seconds to go on the clock. Brad Marchand would increase the lead to 4-1 for Marchand. That would be his 29th goal of the season from Charlie Coyle, a short-handed marker with 5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the period. Michael Bunting would cut the deficit to 4-2, getting his 19th goal of the season from Malkin and Erik Karlsson, a power play goal with 4 minutes and 8 seconds remaining on the clock. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 4-2 in favor of the Bruins. In the third period, Drew O'Connor would cut the deficit to 4-3, getting his 16th goal of the season from Lars Eller, a short-handed marker with 4.5 minutes gone in the period. Morgan Geekie would increase the lead to 5-3, getting his 17th of the season from Lacko and Frederick, and that goal happened with 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the period, making it 5-3 at that point in favor of the Bruins. Danton Heinen would increase the lead to 6-3, getting an empty net goal for Heinen. That would be his 17th goal of the season from David Pasternak, and that goal happened with 2 minutes and 47 seconds to go on the clock. The last goal to report was Evgeny Malkin, who would get his 26th of the season from Bunting and Raquel, with 1 minute and 21 seconds to go on the clock. So 6-4 would be the final score in favor
of the Boston Bruins.
There we go. So with the victory, Boston's sitting at 47, 18-5, 15, I should say. They have 109 points on the season with 2 games remaining. So if they win at least 1 or 2 of their last games, they could easily clinch the Atlantic Division. And after the loss, the Pittsburgh Penguins are 37, 31, and 12. They have 86 points on the season with 2 games remaining. They are still fighting for their playoff lives.
Next game is between the Anaheim Ducks and the LA Kings.
All right. I feel like we're getting close to the end, right?
We only have 2 more games to go.
Sweet.
Yeah, there's no scoring in the first, so we have to top heads in the second. Harry Luck Dubois will get his 16th goal from Arvidsson and Kempe, just 2 minutes and 45 seconds of the clock. Matt Roy will get his 5th goal from Lazota and Thomas, who just...
With 9 minutes and 27 seconds to go on the clock.
In the third period, Trevor Zegers will get his 6th goal from Zellweger and Fowler.
And that goal happened with 8 minutes, I should say, and 42 seconds to go in the period.
Kevin Fiala will get his 29th goal from Lewis Nowdy.
And that goal happened with 2 minutes and 18 seconds to go.
Final score would be 3-1 in favor of the LA Kings.
So with the victory, LA is sitting at 43, 26, and 11. They have 97 points on the season with 2 games remaining. They are still sitting third in that Pacific Division. And they would have to win out, I think, at least one or two of their final games to secure that number 3 wildcard spot, as the Golden Knights are right behind them in the standings. As for the Anaheim Ducks, they are 26, 50, and 5. They have 57 points on the season with just 1 game remaining.
The last game is between the Wild and the Sharks.
The Wild and the Sharks. Okay, let's take a look and see how this one went. So in the first period, Matt Boldy would kick things off, getting his 28th goal of the season from Kaprizov and Middleton, 5 minutes and 19 seconds of the first. Jan Rutta would tie the game up, getting his 5th of the season from Ferraro and Granlund, 9 minutes and 32 seconds in the period. With 3 minutes and 9 seconds to go, if I'm pronouncing this name correctly, Declan Chisholm would get his 3rd goal of the season from Merrill and Algren. So after 20 minutes of play, the Wild had a 2-1 lead. In the second period, Liam, Algren will get his 1st goal of the season from Brodin and Kushnatinov, if I pronounced that name correctly, with 5 minutes and 37 seconds to...
First
Sure, something like that. With 5 minutes and 27 seconds to go, giving the Wild a 3-2 lead. Mario Ferraro would cut the deficit to 3-2, getting his 3rd of the season from Eklund and Granlund with 4 minutes and 8 seconds to go on the clock. Kirill Kaprizov would strike with 56 seconds to go on the clock. For Kaprizov, that he would get his 43rd goal of the season from Faber and Brodin. He would strike again with a power play goal, getting his 44th of the season from Eriksson Ek and Matt Boldy with just 9 seconds to go on the clock, a power play goal as well. So after 40 minutes of play, the Wild had a 5-2 lead. In the third period, Marcus Johansson would increase the lead to 6-2 a minute 46 seconds into the period. For Johansson, that would be his 11th goal of the season from Merrill and Golgowski. So 6-2 would be the final score in favor of Minnesota. So with the win, they are sitting at 38, 33, and 9. They have net 85 points on the season. And after the loss, the Sharks are 19, 52, and 9. They have 47 points on the season. Both of those teams have 2 games remaining on the schedule. Alrighty, that takes care of a very busy Saturday night. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Any last second thoughts?
Check out my channel. I'm probably not going to be posting for a while.
Check out my channel. I don't post anything, but still go check it out. Okay.
It's called Just Talking, JUSTHOCKUYY.
There you go. Anything else?
Nope.
Alrighty, as always, take care.